Here's a fun question for you. What's your favorite game within a game? You need an example? How about a round of Gwent? Hidden inside The Witcher 3 is quite possibly one of the most fun minigames ever coupled with a standalone game. Gwent is first taught to Geralt by a patron in a pub in White Orchard, and from there, he's free to go out into the world and start playing cards. What I like about Gwent is that they don't try and force it on you. You can walk out of this bar and not play a single card for the rest of your journey, but the opposite is equally likely. The sign of a fun game is when people don't have to be asked twice to play them. Many fans of The Witcher 3 will be quick to regale you with stories of their card hunting adventure playing the infamous Witcher TCG. My first time playing through The Witcher 3 was no different. I sent Geralt on the same elaborate deck-building adventure everyone else has, as we gambled our way through Velen, Novigrad, and Skellige. When my girlfriend played through the game for herself years later, she had the exact same experience. The main quest to track down Ciri and save her from the Wild Hunt was just an obstacle on the way to another opponent or rare card. Let's be honest, finding Ciri was only a concern if she knew how to play cards herself. Even if you haven't played The Witcher 3, I think we all have a story like this. Finding a new favorite game and then discovering it has an entire RPG attached to it. Gwent is fun enough to be its own game. And ironically, that's actually what happened. Gwent, the Witcher card game, released as a standalone version of the minigame from The Witcher 3 and represents a level of success that all other minigames dream of achieving. Minigames in their own right are meant to be distractions and diversions from the main game. They exist to add a little variety and spice in place of simply powering forwards through a story's main missions. They offer a breath of fresh air, and in some cases, a reason to keep playing and sticking with the game. In some even more rare instances, a minigame is so damn appetizing that it steals the spotlight from the main game entirely. Call me crazy, but the games where the minigames reign supreme are the ones that do their best to hide them from you. Those are the games that interest me the most. There are some games where I fire them up, less to replay the main story, and more because I want to mess around with the other games hiding inside. And even better yet, when the minigame lets you stretch the main one to its limits. Before we get into things proper, I'm excited because we have something extra special and cool cooking for you this month. That's why I'm actually super stoked to tell you all about today's video sponsor, Pingplayers.com. Pingplayers is a game server hosting platform designed with the goal of making server hosting as fast, fun, and simple as possible. It's gonna make me sound old, but back in the day, we used to jump through a dozen different hoops to do all kinds of weird stuff just to play some games with our friends. This way is safer, simpler, and you can get it all up and running in about 60 seconds.
Look at this.
You found it?
Yeah.
Holy moly, look at this girl go.
I found it.
Pingplayers has a built-in AI assistant for troubleshooting if you hit a snag or need help with mods, settings, and backups or customization. It's Ping!
Ping!
AI assistant.
Oh, that's so fun.
Try me out, but don't forget I'm still learning. Oh, aren't we all, Ping? Rest assured, they also offer 24/7 human support as well, and are there to help get things running the way you like. The folks on the support team play the games too, so they're well versed in what you may need assistance in. Oh, look at that. Ping is so ready to help.
Ping is on it. Can I have Ping for everything?
They offer servers for over 25 different games, including a ton of our favorites like Terraria, Project Zomboid, and Rust. We've personally been enjoying their Valheim and Palworld servers. In fact, we're hosting a Palworld server over on our Twitch using Pingplayers if you're interested in participating and seeing what it's all about.
Welcome to the Boy Meets Girl dedicated Palworld server.
Let's go. It's super useful for us since hosting a dedicated server while recording and streaming is a lot for my rig to handle. Not to mention, Pingplayers makes the whole process a breeze. So check our link in the description below and use our code BMG35 to get 35% off and get playing today. Final Fantasy VIII is a lot of things. It's an ambitious game, a game with complex systems, a game that wasn't afraid to try new things, and above all, a game stuck with the insurmountable task of living up to the expectations set by its predecessor. But among all of those, you never hear anyone talk about how it's one of the greatest TCGs ever put to the screen.
Are those part of the card game?
No, we're not quite the card game yet. We're close. I know it's bold to claim there's a better trading card game and an RPG than Gwent from The Witcher 3, but believe me when I say that Final Fantasy VIII's triple triad deserves all the hype. The two actually have quite a bit in common, and similar to Geralt, Squall's playing a card game he's never heard of, where he coincidentally happens to be one of the best cards in the game.
Both girls just looked at him and then giggled.
During development, game director Yoshinori Kitase wanted to make a minigame in Final Fantasy VIII that was playable anywhere in the world. He wanted the minigame to be grounded in the world's culture, where you could just waltz up to a random NPC on the street and play a few rounds. This guy you can play that guy over and over and over.
Really?
The
reception guy would PvP
He's a
player.
good source of cards, let me tell you.
Yeah? Ooh.
We'll probably grind cards on him. With the success of Magic the Gathering, which released earlier that decade, the team settled on a trading card game, and the battle system planner Takayoshi Nakazat created what we'd eventually come to know as Triple Triad.
Does that guy have cards? He looks like he has cards.
That dude looks like he plays cards, doesn't he?
Yeah.
At its base level, the game involves both players drawing 5 cards each and placing them on a 3x3 grid. The winner of the round is decided by whoever has the most cards, and the concession of the loser depends on what rule set you're playing with. Zell might need to walk his mom to the card store after this. So how does a card game fit into this massive JRPG? Well, in order to start playing, you need to find some cards. Something I like about Triple Triad is that you can start playing right from the get-go. At the beginning of the game, there's a guy who will hook you up with a complimentary starting deck. It's a nice gesture, but to be honest, there's a good reason he hands them over to you free of charge. Would you like to have these? My brother gave me these cards, but they're really not my thing. You can have them if you like, Taryn.
Yo!
I'm super into this. So with that said, unless we want to lose the cards we were just gifted, we'll need to find some better ones. The two main ways to earn playing cards are from winning them off of opponents and capturing monsters. The latter being our best option since our deck kind of sucks. These are our starting cards. I mean, I'll be honest, they're not great. Like, this is basically, if I had to like draw a comparison, Red Bat is like poor fucking infantry. Conveniently, one of the Guardian forces that Squall can equip and use in battle has an ability called Card. And finally, we get the card ability. Nice. By unlocking this skill, you can use it on a low HP monster and possibly capture it and transform it into a new card. Every monster in the game has a card associated with it, and capturing is the simplest way to start building your collection. Not to mention, it's a quick way to bolster this flimsy starter deck. Boom.
Wow.
I'll take my Mini-Mog. Finally, Mini-Mog!
Join the family.
Along with the monsters, bosses and the Guardian forces themselves also have cards that can be collected. These cards are undeniably much stronger than the run-of-the-mill cards you'll encounter, but there's only one copy of each, making them unique. There's Mini-Mog.
Mini-Mog.
He's got Mini-Mog. Oh, you sorry fool.
Is that Mini-Mog the cat?
That's Mini-Mog right there, and it's mine now. I'm gonna win it from him. Aside from the handful that reward you with their card after defeating them in battle, the majority of boss and GF cards must be won off of other players. Just be careful not to lose them to someone yourself. At least I saved.
Yeah.
Probably the most cool and simultaneously the most infuriating thing about Triple Triad is that you can unwittingly create an absolutely cracked opponent by losing your cards to them. Yep, and of course he takes Ifrit away from us. Oh, he takes both of those? Yeah, so we need to reload.
We're reloading.
The game is smart enough to keep track of exactly who has your unique cards and where they travel. Ironically, one of the most complex card side quests in the game actually involves you losing specific cards to a woman known as the Queen of Cards. She has this title because she's the daughter of the guy who paints all the cards for the game. He doesn't have an official name, but I like to think it's Maximilian Pegasus.
Whatever you say, Yuki boy.
Anyways, losing specific cards to her leads to Pegasus taking inspiration from your cards and painting brand new ones. Maybe we just use a bunch of cards we don't care about. Goodbye, Mini-Mog.
Bye, Mini-Mog.
You'll of course have to win these new cards as well as the ones you lost back in order to complete your deck, which can be a bit spooky because you hand some pretty brutal firepower over to the Queen in doing so. Goodbye, Mini-Mog.
No.
Thank you for your service.
Bye, Mini-Mog.
I keep talking about winning rare cards from other people, but have yet to address the major shoe puff in the room.
Right, the shoe puff?
Triple Triad has one major downside, that's a huge wolf in sheep's clothing to unsuspecting players. Let's try to win that worm from... That was a bold play on this guy's part. One of the most unique aspects of the game is that depending on what region of the world you're in, people play using a different set of rules. Play a game with Blam's rules and ours. How about it? So you have open and same, and the trade rule is still one. At first glance, what's really cool about this is you can carry rules with you to new places and get the locals to adopt them. Get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. Like the girl at the library. She's got a better vibe. FF8 focuses a lot on war and conflict resolution, as well as finding compromises and working together to find peace. These blends of rules allow you to play mixed games across regions, and some fairly interesting interactions can come about on your card journey as a result. Same. Woo! We got a combo. That was sweet. Before, I mentioned that winning cards was dependent on what forfeit rule was in place. The initial rule of 1 is Battle City style, meaning you or your opponent have to forfeit your best card at the end of the match. But for higher stakes players, and my personal preferred rule, there's different. Different allows the winner to take as many cards as points they won the game by. If you're a real high stakes player, then you can even play with all, where you have to give up your entire hand if you lose the match, which is absolutely brutal if you lose. Never give out the middle of the board, Taryn. I'm telling you, okay? It may look like you think you're cooking, right?
Uh-huh.
But I promise you, they will flip 3 cards in a turn because you're just like,
Oh God.
you weren't paying attention. So always make sure you save before playing an all game. Did we just lose again? Oh my God. Oh. Anyways, this all sounds good on paper, but that's only because I haven't introduced you to the rule direct, which is just plain awful. Direct means each player wins whatever cards they captured during the match. Yeah, okay, we get to keep our cards, thank God. I hate playing direct. This one's especially bad because when you win a match, you still lose cards. We're not gonna win this one. The double-edged sword of rules is that sometimes bad ones like direct end up spreading around the region like mono in a high school gymnasium. When bringing a rule from one region to another, the populace will sometimes adopt it as their new rule, which is great when it's one you like. Damn, I get your whole hand. I get your whole hand. Thanks for the cards. Speaking from experience though, it's all fun and games until rules like direct start spreading like wildfire because it's much easier to introduce a rule than it is to abolish one. I love the idea that Zell's sitting there like, my mom's deck has no pathetic cards. Bad rules would be a lot more damning for Triple Triad, but assuming you're planning to break the game with the card system, you probably know how to avoid the pitfalls of the bad rules anyways. By the way, did I mention you can break the game with the card system? For reference, water is 46 attack, okay?
Yeah.
Tornado. If you play your cards right, you can unlock FF8's true potential. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
There it is. Check this out.
Thousands! And you just hit multiple times! That bug didn't stand a chance!
It felt like a complete and utter crime to breach the topic of minigames without bringing up fishing. Not one fishing minigame, mind you, but frankly, all the fishing minigames. It doesn't matter if I'm playing a survival crafter, a roguelite, or a farming sim. You can always catch me on the shore with a line cast. When it comes to fishing minigames, they come in all shapes and sizes. Some are just little distractions and time killers, while others serve as collectionables. Some even play like their own game within a game. There's one game in particular, though, whose fishing sits a cut above the rest, and I'm willing to go to war for it. Of course, the game I'm talking about is Terraria. I've played Terraria since the beginning, back when Skeletron was the final boss and you had to use a hammer to mine glass. I've seen the game grow a lot over the years, and there's a reason it's my most played one on Steam. If you've been keeping up with our playthrough over on Twitch, you'll know that we take our sweet time with it and aren't really in a rush to get to the end. Oh, you're decorating, got it.
This was a task I had. Don't know when, and apparently I never finished it.
It wasn't always how I played, but I can pinpoint the exact moment that I changed my pace, and it was when I learned to fish. I had played a ton of worlds with my buddies, and 1.2 was no exception. At the time, fishing was not a priority. We were all much more focused on the grind and beating the game. There was mining for the best armor, building the coolest houses, and of course, going for all the rare weapons. It was all systems go all the time, and a race to the finish never slowing down. So fast forwards a little bit to when boy met girl, and I decided to introduce her to my favorite game. I knew right from the get-go this was going to need to be a different kind of playthrough than what I was used to with the boys. But I wasn't quite prepared for how different. God, I'm stuck. Thanks. Here, I'll let you through.
Thank you. So that's only like a one person at
There's
a time, I
a small
suppose.
flaw in my design. I didn't want to carry her through anything because that's not a good way to learn, so we took it at her pace. Unfortunately, girl walks at a very steady tempo, so I was left sitting around twiddling my thumbs most nights trying to figure out what to do. Well, lo and behold, there's this angler NPC over here who offers fishing quests. May as well see what that's all about. Suddenly, I'm filling man-made reservoirs in all the different biomes, hooking up teleporters to the angler's custom-built home, home and making potions I didn't even know the game had that are so much better than any of the ones I'd used before. Fishing in Terraria is great because it only adds to the game without taking anything away. If you choose to just ignore it entirely, you're still in for a wonderful time. I did it for years and had no idea what I was missing out on. That's the beauty of being blissfully ignorant. But once you've seen what it can do, it's difficult to go back. Some playthroughs I don't even mine anymore. Taryn's gonna spend about 15 hours building her starter house anyways, so that's time well spent setting up a bait farm and fishing up crates for armor and weapons. At the very least, it gives her time to decide what block she wants to use. Fishing can easily carry you from start to finish in your average playthrough, but depending on how far you want to cast that line, it can go even further. Just be careful what bait you're using, because who knows what could be down there. I grew up in a place with miserably hot summers. Like those levels in Super Mario Bros. Where the sun comes down and tries to kill you type miserable. It was days like those where having that one friend with a GameCube and air conditioning came in absolute clutch. I'll never forget this one particular summer afternoon where we got tired of the usual rotation of Smash Bros. Melee, F-Zero, and Kirby Air Ride when he showed me a game I hadn't heard of before that he called Chao.
Look at all the chows! They're so cute.
Little did I know that that game was about to start a journey. Long after the sun had set and the heat had dissipated, we were still trapped indoors, no longer seeking shelter, but instead hooked on Chao. Oh no, he's in last place,
No, little Chao! Are you cheering him on enough?
I don't want to use up all his stamina, he'll get tired. For years, I tried to remember what the game we played that day was and hunted for it at my local GameStop, but to no avail. I distinctly remember asking them if they had a game called Chao and feeling disappointed when the fried guy working the register couldn't figure out what the hell I was talking about.
Look at him go!
He's in dead last. Years later, and I finally found out the reason why. It turns out I wasn't asking for the right game. I was in fact asking for a mini game inside of a game. Don't let those other guys intimidate you, Jam.
Guys,
oh, that one looks fast. Number 5 and number 6 look fast. All those years of searching through the alphabetized GameCube shelf and visiting the sea aisle in search of something that resembled Chao, when, lo and behold, I was in the wrong corner of the room the whole time. Where I really should have been looking, much to my amusement, was in the S section for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wow! Fuck yeah!
Sonic Adventure 2 is the second installment of the 3D Sonic games, and is remembered fondly by myself and many others, not because of how it iterated on the format established by its predecessor, but instead for how it did so with its virtual pet simulator. Holy shit!
And we're not on fast forward?
Hidden inside each Sonic Adventure 2 level is a key that unlocks the door to the Chao world. Once found, you can access the garden, which has 2 complementary eggs to get you started. Inside these eggs are Chao, mysterious fairy-looking guys who once hatched can be raised and trained to compete with other Chao.
Oh, it's an entirely different game.
Their main gimmick is that they respond and grow to outside stimuli, which you can bring in from the main game to level their stats.
Man, my dad was missing out because he could have had Carson play the running part and then I could have played this part.
You can nurture them however you like, but depending on how they're raised, they'll grow into different varieties of Chao. The well of complexity on raising a Chao runs much deeper than that, but as far as our little kid brains were concerned back then, the fun was all in winning competitions. And making the most cursed looking one we possibly could.
Come on, Jam.
Jam, what are you doing on all fours?
Jam, come on. Come on, Jam.
What are you doing on all fours, Jam?
Jam!
Use your feet, Jam. The latter was accomplished with animal parts. We got the little animals. We can combine those with our Chaos.
Like a mutation?
Yeah, the Chaos can adopt parts of the animals. Thematically, Sonic has always had this theme of rescuing animals, and that's still present in Sonic Adventure. One of the stimuli you can use to grow your Chao is the animals you rescue from the levels. And along with boosting their stats, the Chao will usually adopt a characteristic from said animal. This can range from looking cute to looking kind of cursed. The plethora of animal parts grafted onto your little wisp can have him looking like a Chimera experiment gone wrong. But even still, the stats might just be worth it. Jam is looking a little funky. The main draw of raising your Chao and growing its stats is undeniably the competition. After all, who doesn't want to be the best at show? Jam gets a reward for this one because he did the...
Really?
He got a little car!
He got a car!
Chao compete for distinction and prizes in races that see them climbing, swimming, and even flying.
Come on, little Jam! Come on! You can do it! I believe in you!
I don't think Jam's going to be a swimmer thing. Certain animals give Chao a better shot at winning these competitions, like the otter helps with swimming or the parrot with flying. If tests of endurance aren't your cup of tea, then you might prefer Chao karate. My friend and I love to pit our little guys up against each other and see who the last one standing would be. 2 go in and 1 comes out. Obviously, as kids, we had no idea what the optimal strategy was or how to even make things happen properly. We were just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck.
So we need more penguins and swimmers.
Poor Jam. Believe it or not, there's actually some science behind all this though. And some very smart people have figured out how it all works. If I'd known half of what I know now back then my Chao would have taken the gold every single time. But since my friend owned the game, he used to hog all the fruit and chaos drives for his own. Thinks we're starving this Chao.
Meanwhile, you're literally giving it
I was gonna
fruit
say,
after
Dill
fruit
over
after
there
fruit.
has not eaten a damn thing. You don't see him complaining. All that said, I have to remind myself, we're still talking about a mini game in a Sonic world. There was an entire game outside of the garden that was completely overshadowed by the Chao.
You were a ball, and it's like for like a long period of time, so you just did so much damage. What even is this game?
It's far from an understatement to suggest that the 3D Sonic levels were the real minigame all along, and the Chao Garden was the actual main course.
Good work, Jam.
Good work, Jam.
He's boxed in a corner.
Oh, Jam?
Oh, he's making moves.
Jam?
He's making moves. Jam, Jam, Jam,
Jam?
Jam, Jam, Jam. Come on, Jam. Come on, Jam. Come on, Jam.
Yeah, Jam! He did it! Oh,
Look at him go.
I'm so proud of Jam. The Final Fantasy series is no stranger to fun, addicting minigames and side quests. Although Chocobo breeding in 7 and Hot and Cold in 9 come to mind, I don't know of any hold a candle to Blitzball in 10. Initially, I fully intended to talk about Blitzball instead of cards for this video because the two have a lot in common. Similar to how you can approach strangers all over the world to play cards in Final Fantasy VIII, in Spira, you can approach people and draft them to play on your Blitzball team in 10. Zev Ronso, yeah, he's their center player. Good player, but a little too slow. The players are getting faster and faster, and they're leaving the Ronso in the dust. I think early game, the Ronso are really strong, though. Much like Triple Triad, the sport is deeply ingrained in the culture of the world, and you'll find competitive players pretty much everywhere you go. Akin to finding a player with a rare card, it's not uncommon to accidentally stumble upon some undiscovered talent with stats that are off the charts, just waiting for a chance to shine. Yeah, he's pretty solid. Like, I use him for a little bit, and then I switch usually.
Yeah.
Because he does drop off, unfortunately. I mean, he's got a family to raise, so I kind of get it. When you fall down the Blitzball rabbit hole, there's no telling when you'll come back out. After drafting and building a competent team, you can sit in the league menu and compete in tournaments until you're blue in the face.
They knew what they were doing with this one. They're like, yeah, they're not stopping the mini games. Just don't even let them leave.
Yeah, they were cooking with this one. My brother will testify to me sitting on the couch playing rounds of underwater water polo over and over again like it was FIFA or Madden. I think we've got like some of the best offense in the league, but I think people are sleeping on our defense. I really mean that.
Yeah? You think that we're going to see some big performance on the defensive front?
I really think that like this season is the one. He likes to laugh, but even he fell out of his chair when the Sykes didn't re-sign Nimrook and we managed to nab the best goalie in the league for pennies on the dollar. Anyways, the main incentive to play Blitzball is to unlock Waka's different overdrives, and also to get some rare crafting materials. The rewards can have a meaningful impact on your playthrough, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not anything game-breaking. The same cannot be said for Triple Triad. So check this out, dude. Triple Triad is a fun game in its own right, but the naked truth of the matter is that the cards completely and utterly break the game.
Whoa!
So good.
Oh my god.
Well, there goes that boss. Let me lay it all out on the table for you. Final Fantasy VIII is often criticized for its junction system and the way characters grow through junctioning, which she's poorly explaining right now. By junctioning, you like attune with the spirit, and you can use some of their powers in battle, basically. Unlike the other games in the series, magic is not learned, but drawn and stalked from enemies. The system also utilizes guardian forces, which are essentially the summons you might be familiar with from the other entries in the series. They have Shiva? I love that. Junctioning is really and truly just a fancy way of saying equipping, so to clarify, in Final Fantasy VIII, you equip your summons and spells to certain stats to improve them in place of leveling up a character. When you're fighting, right?
Yeah.
You know, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oh, yeah.
Ba-ba-da. Okay, so you see attack. That's like attack, and then you can pick the other 3 things Squall's gonna have. So Squall's not able to use items in battle right now.
Oh.
Because I've picked Guardian Force, which think about that like summoning an Aeon, right? So for a quick example, you can stock Cure from the caterpillar monsters encountered in the forest. All spells stocks cap at 100. So you can stock 100 Cures from these not quite cocoons, and then junction the stockpiled spells to your health stat to increase your maximum HP. On paper, this sounds cool, but the reason people are critical of the system is that it disincentivizes using your spells. Consider in the example I gave that casting Cure will now lower your max HP. How much health is he gonna have? Oh my god. Naturally, stockpiling hundreds of magic spells is tedious and a bit of a slog, but thankfully the developers realized this. They added the ability to refine spells from items to several of the Guardian Forces in order to mitigate the draw grind. So, for example, you can refine regular potions into cures, essentially giving you a way to purchase stockpiled spells, and avoiding the tedium of drawing 100 times from the hungry caterpillar. Refine fish fin into 20 waters. So give Squall 100 waters. Keystis can also have 100 waters. Where there may have been an oversight is that you can also refine your cards. Quetzalcoatl, one of the starting Guardian Forces who had the card ability from earlier, also comes with a cheeky trick called Card Mod. This ability allows you to turn your excess cards into items, which if you've been keeping up, means you turn monsters in battle into cards, which you can then mod into items, which can then refine into spells. Is this sounding broken yet? Because we're not even close to done. Refine the Dynamo Stones into Thundagas. Oh, baby. Boom. Okay. Many of the cards that opponents use in Triple Triad are those of mid to late game monsters who can't be found until disc 2 or 3. Sensibly, they refine into mid to late game spells to match the monsters they come from. So what happens when a player gets super good at playing cards and starts winning a bunch of these high tier monsters? You need like 50 of those if you want to get 100 flares.
Really?
Not something a sane person would grind out this early in the game, but you technically can do it. That's the fun part.
You like that they give you the option.
Exactly. I like that they have the balls to just be like, okay, go ahead. You madman. It's sort of a self-feeding system where you win some powerful monsters you shouldn't have yet, then turn around and use those same cards to win even more powerful ones. And oh god, what's happening? Squall's using Flare at level 1. But think bigger than that with me for a sec. Yes, it's fun to nuke an enemy with the best spell in the game, but remember for a moment why people don't like casting spells in FF8. The aftermath of a player's card conquest is being able to junction extremely powerful magic you shouldn't have access to until much later in the game, to your attack and HP stats, slingshotting you to power levels beyond anything that should be possible in the first act of the game. But Squall's good. Did I mention you can accomplish all this before even finishing the tutorial mission?
And we still haven't even gone back for our exam?
Yeah, like we've barely even... Technically, you can do this before even getting Ifrit, but like, man, playing cards without Ifrit card, that's tough.
Yeah.
Squall's seed exam is one of the starting missions of the game, and at the end, his squad is confronted by a robot called XATM-92. Uh-oh.
What the hell's that thing? It's like a bug.
As a kid, my strategy guide called it the Black Widow.
A robot bug!
This isn't a fight you're meant to win. Squall and the party are attempting to evacuate, and this thing is pursuing the group as a means to slow them down. You're intended to deal enough damage to it that it initiates self-repair mode, giving the gang an opportunity to escape and make up some ground until it's ready to pounce once more. I thought we already busted that thing up. But through the magic of cards, we can junction Squall's attack stat with tornadoes and add lightning element to his weapon with Thundagas to make an absolute joke of the giant mech. Oh, we got it. We got it.
Nice!
Woo!
Woo!
Easy money. I wonder what that strategy guide writer thinks of this approach.
So you're supposed to never, not be able to fight this guy.
The intended way to do that is to run from it. The first pass of playing cards is to build out a strong deck and get better playing cards. But once you have a winning formula, you start playing for specific cards that turn into specific items that refine into specific spells. I have not seen, like, I don't even remember what the card looks like.
Me neither. I was just wondering, I'm like, what does it look like again?
You can have stacks of 100 Firaga, Blizzaga, and Thundaga well before ever leaving the garden for the first time if you, pun absolutely intended, play your cards right. There it is. Oh my god, please,
Is
God.
that bottom
Oh,
one?
we're starting, which sucks. The possibilities with the cards are endless, and the desire to collect them all is really what pushes me along on repeat playthroughs. Even when I'm completely overpowered and one-shotting my way through every encounter, I still stop to play as many card games as I can along the way. The reality being that Final Fantasy VIII is a series of events that seems to happen only as a distraction from playing more Triad. I don't know if I mentioned that. Like,
Wait.
the exam is we're going to war.
How do you get graded on going to war?
You'll see if we ever get to it. Like, there's a war being fought, and Squall's over here playing cards. Beyond just being fun, Terraria's fishing rewards remain viable from start to finish in a playthrough. What you hear about less often is how its fishing allows for one of the best progression skips in the entire game. Let me level with you for a second. This is a very scientific graft of progression in Terraria. Ignoring everything at the top because it makes no sense and I'm not sure what the person who made it was doing, take a look at the bosses that come after the Wall of Flesh with me. As you can see, the first step of progression in hard mode is the 3 mechanical bosses. But wait a minute, boy, what's that other line over there on the right? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is Duke Fishron. And although he's able to be summoned from the moment the world enters hard mode, his difficulty is situated somewhere between the Golem and the penultimate boss of the game. So why are we able to summon him so early, you might ask? Fishing. The answer is fishing. Duke Fishron is a boss that you can fish up from either of the ocean biomes by using a truffle worm. Of course, summoning him and defeating him are two very different conversations, but rest assured, it can be done. I've lived it. Noiki Boy was obliterated by the Duke. I think we're in the right place, Taryn. I've gone on record before about how my brother is the Minecraft guy and I'm the Terraria enthusiast. Well, a few years ago, he reached out wanting to do a bro-op playthrough of the game with me, and the two of us played one of my favorite worlds to date. We kept calling it our fishing playthrough. All our ore, our accessories, even our pickaxes were reeled in from the great beyond. And I made the mistake of joking about how the next logical step for a fishing playthrough was to do the Duke skip. He asked me what that meant, and after learning, became hell-bent on making it happen. So basically, two brothers, decked out in obsidian armor, met up at the shoreline and reeled in the Fishron on our first day in hard mode. You didn't hear it from me, but my brother may have bit off a little more than he could chew, especially having the Duke as his first hard mode boss ever. Then again, he's the one that wanted to cast his line right in at the deep end, so respect where respect is due. Regardless, the Duke is a punishing but fair fight, and we're both perpetually competing for the title of most stubborn in the family. Worm after worm was cast into the sea, but the Duke kept passing on them for the morsels at the other end of the pole. That didn't stop us though, and we kept at it and slowly got better. It's been years since then, but the Duke skip has become a tradition for my brother and I, and we've done it in every world we've ever played since. Even when we're not doing a whole lot of fishing, we have to pay our respects to the sea and hunt the Fishron down for old time's sake. Even still, we never really stop fishing. Long after we have all the ore, potion materials, and accessories we need, we're still casting lines out for the love of the craft. Oh, I got like 30 seconds to do this quest. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Caught in the ocean. We can make it happen. Huge. Oh, did you see the min-maxing, Taryn? Like, oh my god. All I'm saying is that when you're fishing for the sake of fishing, that's really the hallmark of a fun minigame. So this is a little too small to be a fishing spot, it looks like.
Okay, I guess it was probably more for the aesthetics of like being able to swim in the hot tub maybe.
That's fine. I just need to like reconfigure it so I can still fish in it. If you're wondering how in the world young boy could play a Sonic game for hours and not realize he was playing a Sonic game, then allow me to try and rationalize my behavior. First of all, I don't think we were playing a Sonic. It was either Shadow or Eggman, because I distinctly remember raising a Devil Chao. But maybe we're giving little kid me way too much credit. You don't have to be the fastest Chao. We just have to be the Chao that doesn't fall every 5 seconds. Jam, what did I just say? Most of what I knew about Sonic was limited to my experience with the 2D games, and because I didn't find my dad's Sega Genesis in the garage until I was much older, I was mostly familiar with the advanced releases on my GBA. Even still, the folks who are into Sonic were always really into it, and I had plenty of friends like that who got me excited about the series as a whole. Apparently, whether I knew we were playing Sonic or not.
What the hell is going on?
That's fucking hilarious.
You need to play this whole game for me.
Sonic Adventure 1 for the Sega Dreamcast was the first of the major 3D Sonic games and is responsible for originally introducing the Chao Garden. This was a way to promote the Dreamcast visual memory unit, which essentially functioned as a pseudo-Tamagotchi, if anyone remembers those things. Despite the sequel being available on the GameCube, and that port not having any compatibility with the VMU, the Chao Garden remained in Sonic Adventure 2 as a holdover, more or less because both games ran on the same engine, and leaving the framework in place was simpler than outright removing it entirely. It also had connectivity with the GBA, so go figure. See, some little kids just want to go fast, and if you're one of those little kids, Sonic has got you covered.
Aww.
I mentioned before that my friend and I were trying to breed what's called a Devil Chao. Now to explain what that means. There are two separate campaigns through Sonic Adventure 2. The Hero campaign and the Dark campaign. Do you want to be heroes or dark, Taryn?
Heroes.
The heroes? Okay.
Yeah.
Chao can be influenced by the character you choose to raise them with, and if you use one of the heroes or the villains, you'll end up raising a hero or dark Chao respectively. At the pinnacle of these two categories is the Angel and Devil Chao. More formally, they're known as Chaos Chao, and what makes them special is that aside from looking super cool, they're immortal. It was always sort of a playground rumor whether or not the Chaos Chao even existed, but my friend swore up and down he'd seen one before, so we commit to the grind. Lo and behold, all these years later, I can confirm it is actually a real thing, but whether or not we were close to getting one is another story. A lot of work goes into breeding and raising a Chaos Chao, but I think we were on the right track. We were just 30 hours away. 48 Chao days. When I was last in here, it said 51. How long is a Chao day? Chao can only become Chaos on their third life, so you have to reincarnate them at least twice to start the process. Most Chao live to be about 5 years old, and a Chao year is, am I reading this right? 3 to 5 hours. Dill is closer to aging than Jam.
I had a feeling.
Well, after spending 2 lifetimes with your Chao, you can officially start raising it to evolve into Chaos. Probably the toughest requirement to getting a Chaos Chao is that you need to give it one of every animal in its lifetime. This was the requirement we thought we'd figured out as kids, but finding them is a whole other animal. Searching for the rarer ones can be a pain, and there's no way of keeping track of which ones you've already given it. So get out your notepad and pencil. Please don't have a unibrow. Please God, oh thank God you didn't have a unibrow. The good news is that by modern standards, all of this has been solved. People have figured out exactly which animal spawns in which levels. The trick is the Chao box with the Chao key I mentioned before. There are actually 3 of them in each level, and if you find all 3, the reward is a guaranteed mythical rarity animal. Damn, we just got 4 animals from that. My girlfriend and I have spent the past 2 weeks racing and growing Chao, and since we'd reincarnated them a couple times already, she had the idea of finally completing my friend and I's childhood goal by breeding both Chaos Chao. Jam is looking a little souped up, Taryn. We hunted down 2 of each animal, Noah's Ark style, and prepped a hero and dark one for each other. After that, it was just a matter of waiting for the babies to grow up. Although, having already spent some 20 odd years wondering if they were even real, a couple hours of AFK time while editing was a small price to pay. It's happening.
It's happening.
Oh my god.
Nobody panic.
Oh my god.
Dollop is so cute.
It's beautiful, Taryn. After all was said and done, we finally set right what started on that hot summer night ages ago. You can cross that one off the childhood bucket list, Taryn.
Hell yeah.
Look at them. They're friends.
They're playing together.
When the mini game is more fun than the main story, it's fun to joke about which one is the real game. The beauty being that they're both one and the same. Those Chaos Chao never could have hatched if not for the animals in all the story missions of Sonic Adventure 2. Similarly, even the players who've never touched a fishing rod have to at least craft one to have a chance at facing the Duke. And when asked whether Triple Triad is broken or if the junction system is to blame, I think it's safe to say they're both guilty of the same crime. Sometimes a game includes a distraction or diversion that's so much fun that it steals the limelight from its main game. And to me, that's something worth celebrating. Oh, come on, Jam. Oh, we're so close to the end, Jam.
We're so close, Jam.
Oh, right at the end, he ran out of stam.
Oh. Second half
Nice
player.
job, Jam. A big shout out to all of our supporters of this channel, and an extra big thank you goes out to our sixth wheelers: Daniel Rogers, Gizmo, Isaac Vogan, David Webb, Mace, Albino the Infernape, Gray is Sleepy, Shaneboy1888, and Cerberus. One final reminder that we're hosting a Palworld server event this month, so come stop by Twitch and say hi. We'd love to see you, and links will be down below. Until next time.